Ladies and gentlemen, people of all expressions, this is the Entei episode, where I scavenged all around the world of RA, trying to find Entei. I'm getting so tired of cutting out every take where I say the word scavenge, even though I don't think that's a real word, that I'm just leaving it in this time. Anyways, last time, legendary Pokemon. This time, more legendary Pokemon. Let's get the show on the road. No further ado. I can only really think of one area where there's a large open space that they could put a Pokemon in. So I guess I'll just meet you there after I stock up on Ultra Balls, just to be sure. That kind of burned for my money a lot faster than I was expecting. Maybe I went a little carried away. I mean, surely I'll need these Pokeballs for when we're snaking Shadow Pokemon anyways. I can't really think of a good way to get money, because there isn't like really an item that I could spend my Poke Coupons on that could easily be exchanged for money. But that's a problem for another day, I suppose. Let's go find the star in Entei. If only so I can actually catch Kyogre as well before the night is over. You know, in hindsight, I'm not sure if there really is a large open area for Entei to be here. This just seems like the most major town that we haven't been to yet. Though, I'm gonna check up ahead, but I just gained suspicions of somewhere else I could possibly look. Well, okay, now the ideas are just flowing like crazy. Before the funnies, let's just triple check, make sure they're not hiding it inside this tiny Coliseum space. Wouldn't be the first time I was surprised of what they could squeeze. What legendary Pokemon they could squeeze inside a Coliseum. Jeez, I told y'all. Gonna have these Pokemon purified before we even get to do any major battle. I'll meet you on the top. The space isn't as large as I remembered. But especially if the cave is still a thing. That seems like a place you would hide a legendary Pokemon. So Dark Isles, never heard the name. Not as crazy as I thought. Great, now I just want to explore around the whole world again. Well, that was a bust. Call me crazy in hindsight. But I could have sworn I really thought I was onto something there. Cause like, Pirates Town's such a big deal for Shadow Pokemon in Coliseum. And I guess I would be Mount Battle in particular, not Pyrite where you first caught Entei. But there's a major cyber admin in Pirate Town. I really thought I was onto something. I guess I'll go to the first place that came to mind. Though in hindsight, there's not really... It's not going to be here, is it? There is a large open space. But I don't really see anything here but boat. Like, man, there's so many places you could hide an Entei here in particular, but I don't really see it. I guess my next best hunch would be Snagam Hideout. I kind of wonder, but there isn't really much of a space here either. I wonder. They've been pretty sneaky with things like Kyogre and Groudon. Do you really think they could have hid Entei at the top of Cyber Key Lair? I just feel like I'm creating more work for myself on the editing board. But I can't rule it out. I've tried practically everything else. Like, this would be a climatic place to fight a legendary Pokemon, but... Oh, I completely forgot about you! I don't know why, because Kyogre and Groudon were a thing. What are you doing here? You're not Entei! And I really don't feel like catching you until I get Entei at the very least. I made an exception for Groudon because it was so tucked away. And there isn't an easy way to get the City Dark Isles and back. Guess I'll be back for you. I can't believe I found literally every legendary Pokemon. I was gonna say, besides the Shadow Pokemon that we caught, but they technically still count. We saw them, they just weren't wild Pokemon, they were Shadow Pokemon. But yeah, like point I'm trying to get at is I can't believe we found every legendary Pokemon before Entei. I don't even know where to look. I'm sure I'll go back on the overworld map and get some ideas. Have I really never been down to this room? Apparently not. I can't believe I've deprived myself of the best TM in the game for this long. Well, I guess it doesn't matter because the one Pokemon that we need it for can learn it naturally. Welp! I don't know if that would have changed the game that much if I found this the first time we were here. I forget exactly what level we were at, and if Ellie would have had to move already. But now I definitely gotta save. No, I managed to think up of a couple more Pokemon that we could run into, but I don't know, it really feels like Entei should be the last one. And also, I don't know where else we could look. No. I've been to literally every other map, including City Dark Isles. But what if it's at one of the Pokespots? Like, that's where I thought that they were hiding these legendary Pokemon in the first place. But there's no way that there's a legendary Pokemon in Dr. Kamikyo's lab. Surely they wouldn't hide it there of all places. But I don't know, you would need a space for the wild Pokemon if you have Pokespots, then why would you make the one single legendary tied to Pokesnacks when literally all the other ones are just hanging out on the overworld? I mean, we came out of the HQ lab, so I don't think it would be there. I don't know where else to look. It's not out here. Yeah, why is Entei, of all things, the hardest one to find? Dr. Kamiko, what are you hiding in your basement? Shobin went off on a battle quest saying that he will demonstrate the power of Robo-Pokemon to the world, but that's not necessary. After all, the Robo-Pokemon are the ultimate. After all, one is playing a key role in bringing Cypher down. Oh, it's nice that you realized that we were actually getting use out of the Robo-Kyogre after all. Glad it just adds a happy ending to that whole tragedy, and I can appreciate that. I would expect something like Genesis being here if this was for the fact that this is a Gen 3 game. Now, this would be a perfect place to hide Genesis or some other Pokemon related to science. But alas, I don't see anything here. So I'm actually kind of at a loss of where else we could look. I just don't know. I've checked literally every map. You know, except for the HQ lab. I may have came out there, but who knows? Maybe some things reset after the post-game, after the whole Yon scene. Like, isn't there a side path that an item normally is at? And it's still nothing but an item. I guess I haven't checked the Gate Village, but there's nowhere in the gate that feels like it would be fitting for Entei. I guess if nothing else, I could like reset Iron Head, or I could reset Protect on Jolteon before I forget. Like, surely if anything is hanging out in the Gate Village, it would be Celebi, right? Though Celebi is kind of tied to the Celebi is tied to the plot of Purification, so I wouldn't be surprised if we. It'd be kind of weird to get it before we purify all the Shadow Pokemon in the game. I'm running out of ideas of where they could hide an Entei. Oh my god, I can't believe I didn't think of it sooner. They've all been hiding. All the legendary beasts have been hiding in areas tying to Cypher? Except, no, that's not true. Well, I guess technically Suicune was in the area where we fought a Cyber admin. Whatever. I think this is actually the last map in the entire game that I haven't checked yet. How did I freaking forget that the research facility was a thing? Well, there's the Hexagon Brothers being the Hexagon Brothers. And like the ship, there's definitely plenty of areas to squeeze a legendary Pokemon. I just don't see it out here, though. There was the one NPC saying to come look around here. But surely it's not. Oh my god, they've hidden legendary Pokemon inside the buildings before. This is the room where Crane was held, which is probably a battle CD. Called it. Well, I think I've exhausted this place of all its resources. Where could Entei be? After exploring everywhere else in the world, I decided to go back to the SS Libra and explore it more deeply, on a whim. And then... It's not even facing towards me. What a butt of the joke. Yeah. I had a suspicion, but not a strong enough suspicion to actually run the recording software going through this entire ship. I'll do my best to recreate my reaction when I saw it, though. And honestly, even the groan was added. Entei, what's your deal, bud? Why are you facing that way? So now I want to know if the homeless man has something to say. It'd be a funny joke if it's like, I get the feeling like something is staring me down and haunting me. I get it, you managed to get back, that's excellent here, but you know this place is getting too hectic. TV people going around that. Maybe I should have left. Well, while I'm here, and on the topic of finding literally everything but Entei, let me just knock out the possibility of something hiding all the way in the basement where Bonsly was. Because I feel like once I catch Entei, I'm gonna just be done for the night. It's already 10 o'clock and I like to have a little bit of time between when I'm done recording and when I go to bed. Nope. It would be fun to like face off against you. But come on, even from this angle it doesn't work because you're literally right up against the door. I guess this sort of is. And there isn't even anything funny like the main, like, following around the model for no apparent reason. It's just, the Entei is just facing the wrong way. Well, let me save up. I guess we'll lead off with Shadow Lugia because that worked out pretty well the last time I mean. I guess technically it was the first time. Wow, have I really been recording and just roaming around so long that we haven't gotten anything between Entei and Groudon? Also, I just remembered that I didn't heal. Wow. So much for PowerPoint stalling. Also, you have an answer for Lugia, but then I remembered that it's freaking Shadow Lugia. Well... None of the other legendaries have been too bad, honestly. So if these crunch is the best that it can do, then I think we'll be fine. I don't even feel guilty using a potion, like... I probably would have about this much health if I actually went to a Pokemon Center, so why not? Alright. Moment of truth. Can I swap in on my grass type while just crunch spamming? And get a spore in before it can do anything? That's my hope. We'll see how much naturality that plays out though. Good. So far just a normal crunch. Onto a fighting type that resists it. Then we go for the spore, and then we start chucking the Pokeballs, or Ultra Balls at this point. What Pokeball would look nice, versus what Pokeball would be most practical? I almost want to use a Netball just because we have so many. Plus, I kinda just noticed, like, the Pokemons wake up. You even come out of the Pokeball asleep, but the moment you throw the Pokeball, its eyes open up. Watch. See, his eyes are open now, even though they're sleeping. And coming out of the Pokeball, its eyes are closed. That's an interesting... I don't know if I want to call it a quirk or design choice, but it sure is something of note. Screw it, I'm just gonna use an Ultra Ball on you. One... Yeah, I mean, of course, the one that gave us the biggest pain to find. I'm sorry, I mean I don't mean to drag you, the viewers, into this. I'm the only one that was incompetent and suffered. You all got the easy end of the stick. I don't even know if we threw enough timer balls that'd be significant. I think I kinda jumped the gun. I'm more so just shocked I didn't get immediately punished with like an overheat or something. Even like Flamethrower if you don't want to be redundant with Groudon. Well, I guess I'll see you all when either Funland faints or we catch this Entei, because I can only count down as I throw a Pokeball at it so many times, I believe. Ta-doo, pa-doo, woo. Of course, when I come up with a bit, I immediately capture it before I can implement the bit. Screw it, I don't care if it's tacky, it hasn't stopped me before. It's a perfect character length, it was meant to be. So now that I'm the proud owner of each of the legendary beasts in Pokémon XG, I think it's time to finally get the Pokémon I've been looking forward to having the most. Ever since I discovered it existed in that random Coliseum. Let's go back to Panic City and become better acquainted with the legendary water Pokémon that lies within. Until next time, take care.